Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Planetbase. Continuing on here, we're in fairly good shape. Just trying to maintain that for a bit, not the bit. I don't know why I said that. So there's some concerns we have. I mean, yeah, okay, we might want to call people in as a result of the sandstorm, but I think we're fine. Maybe I should be taking it more seriously. Alright, we are actually almost running out of power, but I think these weren't filled last night, so maybe today it'll be a little better. Because you can see, yeah, they're filling up pretty fast here. So I think over the course of the day they fill up pretty much fully, so with that all filled, we're probably fine. Colonist ship. Okay, we got more people. How are we looking right now? Did we get the new medics? Yeah, we kind of did. We're still missing like 1 or 2 biologists, but that's fine. I'm having trouble seeing the value that a worker brings. I feel like I'd almost rather have almost anyone else. But clearly they do stuff that I'm not aware of. I don't really know. Oh, they do this. Okay. That's reasonable. Disregard. I thought this was engineers. I don't know why I thought it was engineers. Do engineers only really do this? Because if that's the case, they're not doing anything. I don't know if like they're necessary for building stuff, but I feel like I'm underusing engineers then. Which is fine, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have decreased engineers instead of workers. Yeah, all the power's full, so we should be fine. It's always hard to tell how it's going to go, but I think we're going to be just fine. So, I got this comment on one of the Planetbase videos a while back. I saw it at the time, I didn't have a chance to reply to it, but I was thinking about it, and it was right at the beginning of the series, and basically the comment was saying, like, this, more or less, the short of it was, this game has terrible pathfinding and terrible AI. Or maybe not terrible pathfinding, but terrible AI, which to me, largely in a game like this, the AI is like 99% pathfinding. And there's also some details about how you reserve tasks and things, and that's what the comment was ultimately about, but I think of it generally in terms of pathfinding, because that's how I usually see it manifest. So, Life is Feudal Forest Village, if you watch that series as well, also has pretty bad pathfinding. Has issues with the AI. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, well, why would that be? Why would it be that multiple games of similar nature have the same weakness? And I don't think it's because that's a particularly difficult thing to code or anything. I don't think that's it at all. What I'm thinking is that we're starting to get people coming into the game design field, making games, and by and large, I don't think they necessarily... Let me put it this way. I think people are coming into game design who love the idea of making a game and really like the ideas of game design as it relates to the player, as far as like basically design from the player's perspective. And that's fine, but I think once you start talking about the really complicated aspects of game design that are maybe a little bit under the hood that you don't think about as much, I think maybe there's some missing skills there, I guess. Ooh, I minimized the window. I think people maybe don't get into game design for that, and I think you maybe are seeing some of the evidence of that when you see issues like this, because it's not, when you're thinking about game design, like, oh, I want it to be, probably the first thing you're thinking about, if, say, you're the guy who wanted to make this game and made it, maybe you're thinking about the setting. You're saying, oh, I want to make a game that's this. And that's not really how it works, I guess. I could buy this, right? Really? That's only 15? That's a ripoff. God, that doesn't even get through the commission. This is rough. I want this, though, because it's genetically modified tomatoes, right? Those would be good. Alright, I think this is worth doing. So if I come over here, I'll get back to that point in a second here. I'm just dealing with this real quick. Yeah, but I bought that though, so why are you screwing me here, game? What? Oh, okay, I have to get it first, that's fine. Anyway, the overall point I was making is you think, like, they're players coming into game design. They're not designers, you know? So you think about it, and maybe the first thing that you'd think of when you're making this game is you say, oh, well, I want to make a town builder set in space. And you're like, okay, well, what's unique about space? How does that inform the gameplay? Okay, well, oxygen matters. Water matters. You need water from a different source than just having it. You know, it's not an assumed thing, where it might be an assumed thing that you would always have in a game like Life is Feudal Forest Village, for example. You don't need to worry about water, because why would you ever not have water? And that is bad, I think. It's not good that people think about it that way. I think if you're, from a design perspective, that's not helpful. That's not the right way to go about it. Is there a difference in the description? Okay, it doesn't actually tell me what the difference is, but I have to assume that it just goes fast. Oh, it does 4 instead of 3. Yeah, that's cool. I'll take that. Nope, no, no, no. Definitely not. And then there's a couple more to replace when we feel like it. That's a good time. That's not the right way to do game design, I think. The right way to do game design is, okay, well, what's a fun gameplay mechanic that I can use? What's an interesting way to frame something? You don't even necessarily need to think about, like, oh, it's this kind of game or it's that kind of game. I think thinking about it in terms of genres is not necessarily helpful. And maybe it is. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I want to make a platformer, and that, you know, you just want to make a platformer, but I don't think you're going to get anything interesting or new that way. And, well, that's not fair. I think you can get something interesting that way, but then basically you're talking about refining something that's already been made. You're not actually talking about making something new that's incredible or whatever. You're really just talking about, this exists and I want to do it right. And that's fine. You can make good games that way. I could argue that Blizzard's entire existence is, this exists and I want to do it right. That's all they ever do. They don't come up with new stuff. They just say, oh, that's a thing, and then do it. And that's not like a negative against Blizzard. In the past, I have framed it that way because there's things about Blizzard I don't like. I'm not a Blizzard fanboy by any stretch, but they do alright. They make decent games, so I can respect that at least. But back when Diablo 3 was the big thing that they did recently, I wasn't particularly enthusiastic about any of their products. And I think if you look at, you can look at Blizzard and say, oh, look at World of Warcraft revolutionized MMOs, and Overwatch is such an amazing game, it's so fantastic and enjoyable. But on the flip side, you could say, well, look at Diablo 3 and the whole real money marketplace debacle where they tried to be Valve. And then, what was it, Hearthstone's price. Just look at Hearthstone's price tag to be able to keep up with it. And you could easily say, well, Blizzard's not really that great. And then you also say, well, with what EA did with Battlefront 2, you look at all the loot box crap that Blizzard has, it's not that much better. It's not gameplay stuff, but it's definitely bad. And Total Biscuit recently tweeted something about how Blizzard actually, the developers had to fight the business people in the company to not put heroes behind loot boxes. So yeah, they're not, I don't think they're as good as a lot of people seem to think they are, is generally the point that I'm working towards here. Okay, this is a good opportunity to get money back, but I don't really feel like we have much worth trading at the moment. I feel like iron is probably the best for trading, and we don't really have that right now, so let's just pass. But yeah, if you're making a game, I really think the right way to approach it And I've thought about making a lot of different games. I haven't made one yet. I really need to put my money where my mouth is and do that, but I think the right approach is looking at mechanics and saying, look, what's fun? And I'm doing YouTube videos. I've been looking at a lot of things in the games that I'm playing and saying, like, this is fun, this is not fun. How do you put this in your game? It's not fun. No one could conceivably consider this to be fun. Why is it here? And things that get in the way of the gameplay. Okay, we're definitely making too much food now. It's such a fine line where it's like, okay, you have no food, and then, like, suddenly, oh, you literally have too much food. It's very hard to balance and figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. I kind of don't like that this is all the way over here, but I'm not about to move it down here, so we'll just leave that alone. What do I want to put down here? More storage is certainly a tempting option. We can do a multi-dome. It seems unnecessary, though. People are fine. Well, let's actually... You guys are just tired. Okay, well, I can do something about that. Not easily, though. A factory is definitely an option, but I kind of like the idea of maybe getting some more... Let's do that. It's nice and close. I think we need more resource processing, so what's this called? Processing plant? Yeah, let's do one of those. There we go. And then we could put storage somewhere around here too. In fact, I've got a mind to do that right now. That's not... Oh, this is storage. There we go. That's really not a great spot, I guess, but it's fine. And it's enough room I can continue mining down this way. But yeah. Oh, okay, that airlock is just crowded as hell right now. Okay. But yeah, when I think about game design, I think about how you would go about making a good game. I think it's way harder. Well, no, let me rephrase that. What type of game you make, I don't think is as important as that it's fun. So you have to start with where the fun is coming from, and I think the fun always is going to come from mechanics. And you can say, oh, look at this game, it's so cool. It's, you know, you're building a base in space, you know. Yeah, space is awesome. Lots of people are interested in space. It's not overdone at this point. There's some good space games out there, but every single one of them you can point to like a pretty critical flaw and be like, wow, this, I wish this was different. Like, hey, how cool would it be if you could manage your own spaceship and be like, you know, going inside it and doing all this stuff. And you look at the games that let you do that, and it's like, well, geez, I don't have 8 hours a day to dedicate to this, so I can't play it. And, you know, there's a lot of situations like that where it's just not really set up. Please don't break the... Yeah, that's going to break it. I would break both. Do we say F it and just do it? No, I don't think we do. I think we loop around below. That's fine. Right now we just need this built. So yeah, I think the setting is fine, but setting is mutable. You can do... Wait, what happened here? What happened? Is it we're just not making enough, or what? I don't know, man. Anyway, the new one's coming online, so... I think we're just fine. It's just taking a minute to get over there. If I put one here. One more, just to have it built. So I don't... Is there like a particular thing that broke or something? Yeah, I don't understand how we're not... I mean, it's it's creeping upwards. We just don't have enough yet. So having it more local is going to help. But yeah, start with the fun. No one cares how cool your game is if it isn't fun. Fun comes first. Entertainment, enjoyment comes first. So you start by figuring out, okay, well, how do I make this fun? And then you go from there and you say, okay, well, what kind of setting should I have for it? Because you can have all kinds of settings. It could be anything. You could make this game underwater. It'd be the same fucking game. There's no difference. It really doesn't matter that much where you put the game from a setting perspective. So, I don't know. I think you start with the mechanics that are fun. And you could say, well, I'm going to do a town builder. And I'm going to make it... I'm going to, like, look at the flaws that exist in the market right now. And believe me, there's a ton. You look at Life is Feudal Forestville, it Banished flaws, it doesn't go far enough. Life is Feudal's flaws, it's buggy as shit right now. And it's not particularly well made either. Planetbase's flaws are... Right now, I don't really know. I think you could say, well, you're not really building a town, you're building a kind of, like, sprawling layout. I guess maybe... It doesn't seem like there's that much variety. Ooh, hello. We have guns, though, right? Why are you doing this? I've been building guns. We have guns, right? Yeah. Alright, well, we killed the intruders, and that's... I don't really care that people died. It's fine. Yeah, I worry about how much content this has, as far as variety and all that. Like, we've pretty much kind of seen everything, I think, so far. Like, yeah, there's some research we can do, but, like, how much variety is anti-meteor lasers, and I'm guessing this is like a lightning rod, monolith, pyramid. What is this really going to add to gameplay that's going to make this interesting and different? So I don't know that there's really that much here. And I think that's sort of like... kind of just inherent to this kind of game. And that's fine. I don't think it's really an issue that it doesn't have that much content necessarily, but you could argue that that's an issue, and you might say, hey, well, I have a new and interesting way of solving that problem, and I'm going to make a game about it. And that's a valid game. That's a decent approach for a game, but you have to nail all those other factors. You still have to have the pathfinding not be crap, I think, is a big thing. So anyway, I just think that maybe that the people who made games like this came into it as a player instead of as a designer, and there's a difference, because the player doesn't necessarily realize or care about all these little things that impact the gameplay, but most players don't have visibility of that. They're not playing this for 30 hours and saying, oh, okay, well, based on where this guy went, I can tell you that there's this issue with the pathfinding and the task reservation where it won't get done. Just to give you a... I actually just thought of a fantastic example that I'm going to steal from one of the streamers I enjoy watching, Last Grey Wolf, underscores between all those words, but he orders from DoorDash all the time. Like, almost every day, because he streams pretty much through the day, so he's not cooking, so he pretty much just says, hey, I need lunch, DoorDash, get me lunch, or whatever service. He uses different services, I think, but he orders pretty much every day. So one stream, he's talking about his order, he's saying, what the fuck, and I've demonetized myself twice now, I realize. I'd apologize, but it really only affects me. He orders and he's like, what the hell? The driver's like 2 hours away. What are they doing? Like, they were close to him and then they went away. And what happened was he called support and he's like, what the hell? Where's my order? My driver, like, has driven away from me. What is going on? And what wound up happening, apparently, was the driver got a flat tire. Okay, fine. But that doesn't matter. Like, you're running a business, you can't just drive away. you release the order and you give it to another person to fulfill that order, right? No, the driver didn't do that. The driver instead just drove away. I mean, not drove away, got picked up and went away. So it's sort of it's similar to how bad AI would work in this game, and this is what the comment had said basically, was they're going to be a colonist over here in the mine decides they're hungry and they say, I'm using this meal maker, and the other ones, let's just say they happen to be tied up. This one is now unavailable for anyone until he gets here. That doesn't really make sense or work. What you would because you can't just say, well, it's mine and no one else can do it, but it's going to take me an hour to get there. And now someone else is starving to death waiting to grab the stuff. So what you would do from a programming perspective, and it's the end of the episode here, so I'll wrap this up. But what you would do is basically every action like that is a task. You're saying the person, the colonist who's saying, I want to use that thing, instead of reserving it and saying, that is now my thing, I'm going to go use it, they need to enter into a queue, and you set like a 5 to 10 long queue, 5 to 10 colonist long queue. Whoever gets there first uses it first, otherwise it's in the order that they were added. And you do it that way. Yes, you would theoretically double your tasks by doing that, but I think you have to an extent. There's some that you wouldn't want to do that with, because like if it's like a extended task, you don't want to do it if it's like, hey, I'm gonna go work on this machine, I guess, if that makes sense. Or you'd say another way, this might be way harder, but you could do like an estimated time of arrival for each person and say like, well, I'm gonna be there in 5 seconds. And then when they're 3 seconds out, someone who's 1 second away says, well, I'm going to be there. Then the one person who's 1 second away gets priority, and they just go. Something like that. I don't know. Or you could queue it up. You could simulate out, like, well, what am I going to want to do after? But then I think that gets a little crazy. Yeah, there's a few different ways you could handle it, I think, but not handling it at all is not a solution. Like, you can't just say, well, that'd be complicated to code, so I'm not going to do it. If you are going to do that, you have to kind of design the game around it, and it sounds like that didn't happen here. I haven't really seen it be an issue yet, but I think as the base gets bigger, it will become an issue. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, you can come by twitch.tv twitch.tv/electronicmoose. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Check out the stream if you like. If not, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.